The idea behind Gerald Oldman III is that he really does this vlog show full time, and he really goes out and actually hunts for werewolves. He believes in it 100%. He believes in it so much that he finds this UFC fighting show. Let me
love again, and I mean,
hold it there. Hold it.
The thing that
there we go. And so he finds this this UFC fighting show with this fighter known as Grace Lippin, who does not like his name. Grace does not like his name. He's an American fighter. He's an Apache, about half-breed. Now, he has a best friend named Saint Patty the Great. I was looking at maybe Bradley for that. It's like an Irish fighter that is very similar to Shamrock, if you know about Horace Gracie. Now, Grace Lippin, of course, has his own vlog show too about UFC fighting. Saint Patty the Great has his own vlog show about going to Japan and learning jiu-jitsu and fighting Grace Lippin. And Gerald Oldman III has a vlog show about werewolves, about lycanthropy, lycanthropy. So Gerald Oldman III creates his own vlog show, and he makes it very well known in the UK and all over the world, where he's hunting these werewolves. He really believes that they actually exist in the city and the country, mostly country, and in caves, and doing research on gypsies and the werewolf curse and the lycanthropy. Lycanthropy. It's a Greek word that means this curse of this person that's a shapeshifter. Now, of course, he keeps making this werewolf vlog over and over, and it goes out to the world, and then he's watching in a pub. He's having fish and chips and a bit of a pint. You know, kind of Christian Bale goes and does fish and chips, and he's having a pint. Mr. Gerald. It's a character. And he looks up on the screen. He sees this man wrestling in the UFC, and he notices at that very moment, and it will work, Kate, don't worry about it. At the very moment, Kate was talking, he's listening right here. At the very moment, he notices on the telly, that the fighter has a gypsy tattoo on his shoulder. It's a tattoo, which is a circle like a moon and these three zigzags. It's only a gypsy tattoo, he says. And where would he get such a thing? And the shot slowly, Kubrick style, focuses in on him. And he's looking at the television screen. He's noticing the music from the, you hear the fighting. And he realizes, my God. Boom, cuts. He's on an airplane flying in the air, British Airlines, going to Oregon to meet up with a man named John Blacksmith, Adam the Woo. And John Blacksmith has these dreadlocks. Now, if it may not be Adam, it could be his friend that he met, Nerd's Location, maybe. So get on it. But he does this vlog about making weaponry, silver weaponry, to actually kill werewolves. Now, this is what the guy in Oregon that he's flying to, because Gerald needs to purchase these daggers and crossbows that are made of silver, because he's going to go and kill Grace Lippin, because he knows for a fact that he's a werewolf, and he also has done research in a place called Boxville, Texas. Now, in Boxville, this is out way in Texas, there is cow mutilations, and people have gone missing. So they completely have gone missing. And there's bloody remnants of a gardener who has fell down into a cave, and then is missing. It's on Grace Lippin's property. And he's done research on this immediately, Google and all kinds of things, and on the news and stuff like this, and he knows for sure that Grace Lippin is the werewolf. There's a catch at the end. Now, Grace has somewhat kind of married or hooked up with a woman named Rainey Love, who was once a rock star, kind of punk rock star. I think of Courtney Love. But Rainey Love is living with this Grace Lippin on a farm. And she takes these long walks at night. Now, John Blacksmith does hook up with Gerald Oldman III out in Oregon to purchase his silverware, basically his hunting crossbow and different types of devices. And he tells John that there's a werewolf in Boxville, and I'm sure of it, and we must kill this creature of the night, not just creature of the night, but this shapeshifter that's haunting and destroying and massacring these cows and also people of that community. And they don't know what's going on. The people of the community think it's something weird, some kind of weird monster, some kind of weird, maybe a wolf or something. So they decide they've got money. Well, not the werewolf, but they have money too. But the Oldman decides to take John, but John is actually afraid of flying. I need to add it in the script. Make a note. And John is afraid of flying. So they take an Uber all the way from Oregon to Texas. And the entire time they get drunk on the way, and they like to sing Deacon's Blues. I drink Scotch whiskey all night long. I drive behind the wheel. They take a long Uber drive. Now, they finally get into Texas, and then eventually it switches over, and Rainey and Rainey Love and Grace Lippin decide to invite St. Paddy the Great over because they have horses on the farm. And St. Paddy the Great decides to arrive on his motorcycle. He's about to fly off to Japan to study more jiu-jitsu so he can fight Grace Lippin. But secretly, they're friends, even though they fight. Think of Hoist, Gracie, and Shamrock actually being friends. Well, Grace Lippin invites him over. He comes over, and they do this, the talk and all this stuff. And, St. Paddy kind of has an eye out for Rainey Love because she's very sexy and she was once a rock star kind of thing. And they talk, and they go on this horseback ride and all stuff. And then finally, St. Paddy goes flying off on his motorcycle in the country hills to make it to the airport on time to make his flight all the way to Japan. Well, nevertheless, the werewolf comes out at night as he's going on the hills, and there's a whoosh on the back wheel. And St. Paddy goes flying and tumbling all across the road, and just, he's on this motorcycle flying, the motorcycle is flying, and all of a sudden you see this whoosh shadow, and there goes the missing St. Paddy the Great, who's a fighter. Now, they don't really know where St. Paddy the Great is because he's flying off to Japan, so he's fine. But not really. He got killed by the lycanthrope. Now, there is another side story, not with just John Blacksmith and Gerald Oldman III, but there's another side story, too. You'll have to keep up with this. This is already only 7 minutes. In the beginning, we have two golf vloggers, how the show opens in Marfa, Texas, doing research on the ghost of James Dean. There was a possible haunting, a sighting, a ghost of James Dean playing the character in the Giant, his name. Whatever his name is, the one that James Dean played. Well, nevertheless, is it Ben something? Everybody knows that name. The ghost is out there, supposedly, of James Dean. And here is, think of Grim Life Collective, of Michael and Jessica, and they're out there eating candy and shooting things and filming things, a video thing, doing things, getting it all set up. And they're playing along, and it's a full moon, and all of a sudden, and there goes Jessica, or she gets scratched. And then Mike, whoosh, there goes his head. And then Jessica's running, and then whoosh, and she's gone. So the golf bloggers don't make it very far, and they're just missing. And Marfa, it starts off that way. And then it moves. Actually, I think it does start off that way. I have to think. But regardless, there's a lot of fighting sequences in the film between St. Paddy the Great and St. Paddy the Great, and because originally it was going to be a fighting film like Rocky. St. Paddy the Great and Grace Lippin. The only thing is that's probably going to have to be trimmed up a little bit because it shows the beginning parts of how Rainey Love met Grace Lippin and how they kind of fall in love. And they fall in love because he was a fighter and his famous. I put that in there so we could maybe take cuts and flashbacks of that and stuff like that. It's kind of a love story too because, anyway, the big part of the show is John Blacksmith and Gerald Oldman III are hunting down Grace Lippin, but they have to spy on them, so they use these special apps. Think of the recent film that has been done with Soderbergh. Now, Bikini or something like that. They have this special. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. But they have this kind of app that they find a way to vlog, or not vlog. I'm sorry, to track Grace Lippin's movements around, where he maybe gets on his horse, or maybe he goes to the nearby Home Depot to get something, or to go to the vet to take in the sick cat, and they follow him around and stuff. And they finally confront him 3 times. The first time, they just knock on the door, and he talks to him for a minute. It was like, well, what is this? And he's not British, but so what is this? He slams the door on him, right? I'm not going to answer to a YouTube show about this. And he does a vlog anyway, but not to your YouTube show, because he's not a werewolf, and he's a movie star, so he thinks they're just fans. And he's in a bad mood because he's dealing with Rennie Love. And he goes, let me something like this. Okay, so Grace Lippin, this guy answers the door, so he walks over. Yeah, okay, fine, all right, yeah, okay. Well, not right now. And he shuts the door. So they got on his property, and he goes over. Oh boy, let's go this way. Okay. Basically, turns on the security thing and maybe calls it stuff. So that would be like a scene with Grace Lippin. So anyway, that would be John Blacksmith and Gerald Oldman that was at the door. And he told them, listen, don't want to mess with it. So they have to come up with a better plan to approach him, to let him know that, for one thing, he's a werewolf. And another thing, they're going to kill him. So they usually take the Uber around town, and they come back for a second time. They first have to meet at a hotel. There's a whole scene that's kind of got a faith-based message at the hotel, where Gerald Oldman and John Blacksmith talk about the evil in the world, and how there is evil and there's monsters and all this stuff, and that there's good and bad and all this stuff. So then they get back, and now we know that John Blacksmith introduces a new weapon, which is like this flamethrower that shoots silver, which will just annihilate a werewolf. Just one push. So they get all the stuff in the trunk. They get all the weaponry in the trunk of the Uber, and they go the second time. But this time, he's got the gates and the security if they can't get through the gate. So they basically override the Uber driver and drive the vehicle through the gate, and chew his front door this time. And they can't stop the vehicle because of malfunction, or something goes wrong, or they're too drunk, or whatever. They've been singing Werewolves in London outside the gate of this mansion farmhouse. And they ran the car into the living room. They break through the living room, through the front entrance. And they're serious about killing him now. He flips out, calls the police. The police arrive. All this stuff happens. And they don't arrest him because the car's malfunction. They have the Uber driver there and all this stuff. They just blame it on the malfunction of the car. So they bring in a wrecker and all this stuff, and then that one. Now, there's also a delivery guy that gets killed by the werewolf too. He comes in, he's driving an Amazon truck, and he gets killed trying to drop off a package at Grace Lippin. All right, so we're going to get into the third attempt, where John Blacksmith and, what's his name? Gerald Oldman III go to attack the werewolf, or to go into the property. So they go through the back. Now, this is a fight sequence, which is written in lists, okay? Everything else is script. It's like 130 pages or 120 pages. What ends up happening also, sometime in it before then, a gardener is killed. One of the gardeners on the property, he finds this hole in the ground. He goes into the ground to remove this rock. I got the idea from Breck Roll. Removes this rock, and it's down in the ground. He goes into the ground, and he finds this weird gypsy stuff on the wall. So the curse has been taking place in Barksville for a while in this cave, and the werewolf gets him and kills him and comes missing. But later, Grace finds the remnants of the gardener and his flashlight and stuff. The gardener is a vlogger too, but he speaks only in Spanish. He has a whole Spanish gardening show, and he's like vlogging the show, and boom, kind of a heavy-set guy, long hair, and he has a gardening show. So that happens. Regardless, finally we get to the very end of it. You find out there's a surprise ending. John Blacksmith gets scratched, his hand gets cut off, and there in the kitchen, someone is cooking his hand. Right? You got to see this part right here. I'm not going to give away the ending. But if you are a actor and you want an audition for Werevlog, send the information, or just send your name saying I'm interested in auditioning to this channel. The comment will go to my email, and I will reply by sending you the script. And if you want to talk about being in this, we're going to talk about doing the auditions through here. And we'll see what happens, all right? Please subscribe.